you went away. You said to see your family, but I ran into you yesterday and you never saw it coming, baby.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It is your boy Daddy, the professor, reporting live at you today. Guys, I'm going to be taking you guys on a week in my life as a medical intern living in Russia. So without further ado, let's dive into the vlog. This was my first week as an intern in Russia. So for this week, I actually have internal medicine. The one was just basically us being introduced to our supervisor. We took a tour around the hospital. We used to have classes in this hospital before, so it's not like a new place to me. You know that kind of thing when you've been going to a hospital for classes, but yet there's some places you don't actually know in that hospital. This was one of those experiences where I was like, oh my god, so all these places are in our hospital. So we went to the admissions department. Here there are 3 zones actually. They have the yellow zone, the green zone, and the red zone, depending on the type of patient. So usually the red zone and the yellow zone are patients that are brought by people. They can't come to the hospital by themselves, while the green zone is for patients that came by themselves. We went on to move to the physiotherapy department. This was so interesting because I got to see a lot of fancy machines. I was like, oh my god, so we have all these things in Russia. I was actually shocked because I've schooled here for 6 years and I've never seen any of this before. So we got to see this first machine. As you can see, this old one here, this stuff she's bouncing on cost about $40,000 of $14,000 or $40,000. I don't remember, but it was so expensive. I was, oh my god, I just started imagining like the amount of machines here can be over $1 million, like for real. This particular test is for those that have stroke, so it's just basically coordination for the right and the left arm, usually for patients that are undergoing rehab after experiencing stroke. Basically just get back your coordination. Basically the next day was actually very boring day. I got there very late and realized that we had a lecture, so I just got into the lecture hall. We just sat down there. After the lecture, we just went for our ward rounds and went back home. So on day 3, we had another tour with the head of the department for emergency medicine. Our internal disease doctor asked us to also go to the emergency department because that was where the action was happening. And guys, I'm going to lie, I don't know if I can do emergency medicine. I mean, I can do it, but oh my god, if you see the amount of pressure that these guys actually have to work under. Bro, I was so hungry, so I had to go and get something to eat. Like, bro, I don't know why I always do this to myself. I'm always going to school without eating anything. I mean, on one hand, it's very good because you're going to school fasting. On the other hand, if you don't have glucose in your brain, sometimes whenever I see some things, I just begin to feel queasy. Like I feel like passing out because some things are just disgusting, or they're not disgusting. You just feel queasy because you have not eaten and your brain is, I don't know, it's very weird. I got back home and in the evening I went for my Russian classes.
Patient жалуется на рвоту.
We are doing our internship for 1 year and also preparing for the Russian exams. I'm not going to lie to you, I don't have time for myself at all. We literally go to school from 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then 3 p.m. we go for Russian classes. Let me be honest with you guys, I don't even go every day because why would I just waste all my whole day like that? Okay, not waste, but why would I spend the whole day? That means I'm not going to have a life from Monday till Saturday and only have Sunday to myself. Oh my god, no. I didn't used to clock in every day. Sometimes I stayed at home, not just stayed at home, I stayed at home doing some productive work, or sometimes I went to the hospital or I went to Russian class or I missed one of them. So I don't go crazy because like I have to be mentally stable to be able to actually work properly, and clocking in every day and having classes every day, like no time for your brain to rest or relax or recuperate is very bad for me. At least I know this. I'm scared, but I'm not scared. I'm not scared because like, I mean, my Russian is good to an extent, so the information is coming to me easily because I already know medicine. So it's just for me to transfer what I do from medicine to Russian language, which is tricky but not so very tricky. I just need to actually lock in. I've not locked in, but it is what it is. My favorite day from this whole week was day 5.
Hey guys, good morning. It's currently day 5 of the week in my life as an intern in Russia.
6:55 a.m. in the morning. My first class today is at 8 a.m. Today we are on duty at the emergency ward.
Guys, me and my friend Seifa were on duty at the emergency department, and that was like the best day for me. That was the highlight because we got to see a lot of interesting cases. Got to push a grandmother on the wheelchair for the first time in my whole life. This was the first time in my whole life I was actually experiencing the actual medicine life, because when I was in med school, right, we don't usually get to practice with the Russian patients because not a lot of them are actually really welcoming to practice with international students. And I understand. Some people will be like they're racist, but I don't think they're racist. I just feel like a lot of people have their doubts. I don't know, it's not racism. I don't think it's racism because they were not like, oh, I'm disgusted. They didn't just want us to do procedures on them, which is understandable because we're still students. But yeah, I got to push a Russian grandmother. She had hydrothorax in her left lung or right lung, and it was very interesting to see that. I was like, oh my god, so this was my first time. I was actually with the ultrasound specialist, ultrasonographist. Is there a word like that? Anyways, I was actually with the specialist for the ultrasound, and it was so cool to see all the she was explaining to me what's happening in her heart. I was like, wow. I couldn't actually film because I'm not trying to put the patient's private information on the internet, but it was so cool to see. And then guys, one very interesting case came into the yellow department. I don't know, he looked like a street roadside person. He had a hematoma on his head. They put him on the bed. He was kind of conscious, but he didn't know where he was. Before we knew it, he had an epileptic seizure. I was like, oh my god. He started shaking. I was like, guys, this was the first time I was actually witnessing this like live in front of me. So they told us to turn him to his side. The reason why you turn them to their side so that they're not going to choke on their tongue or choke on any foreign objects in their throat or something like that. I turned it to his side. It was so fun to see, like, I got to experience this live in person. And then guess what, guys? They asked us to shave his head because remember I told you he had a hematoma on his head, so they had to shave his head so they were able to do some tests or x-ray and some other things on his head. So we used a shaving stick, the shaving cream, we shaved this guy's head, shaved the hematoma. He was just here dancing. Oh, budget more, store. It was, you understand what I'm saying? It was very uncomfortable. I can't imagine how painful it must have been for him. It was a very cool experience because for the first time in my whole life, guys, I got to experience it hands on. But something very disgusting happened to me, guys, because you know this guy was having his epileptic seizures and I didn't have time to wear my gloves because I just came back from the grandmother that had the hydrothorax. Before they told me I should my help hold, and I didn't have any gloves. As I helped him, my hand touched the saliva. I was like, oh my God. My hand smeared his saliva. I was like, guys, like, it smeared, like, I'm sorry, guys. I used my bare hands. It was very, I don't say disgusting because I'm a doctor, but it was, I had to quickly go and wash my hands, and oh my God, I don't want to experience that again. It was very fun. Me and Seifa were just, walking around the clock, going to give the ECGs to the ECG specialist, coming back, up, down.
Guys, it's been a productive morning to say the least. I'm taking the blood samples to the laboratory. I gotta say, this is low-key exciting.
It was a very cinematic Saturday to say the least. But I enjoyed it. But it just made me to rethink my life stresses. I was like, oh my God, do I really want to go to the emergency department? Because I actually wanted to work in the reanimation or the ICU department. And oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. This work is not for the weak. Fast forward to day 7. As you can see here, we're trying to learn the practical exams for giving patients injection for the Russian exams. Just basically practicing on the dummy, on the, what's that word? On the mannequin. It was a very cinematic week, if you want to ask me, and I enjoyed every bit of it. If you guys have got to this point, I'm sure you guys have enjoyed the vlog so far, and if you are enjoying the vlog so far, please do also hit the subscribe button because you're actually done with the video. Click on this video to see what I spend in a week living in one of Russia's most affordable city, Kursk, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Till then, it is your boy Daddy the Professor signing out. Stay safe and have a good one.